All right, everyone, buckle up because this one's stacked. Marvel's bringing back a forgotten Spider-Man villain. Spawn hits a huge milestone. Zack Snyder teases Deathstroke again, and X-Men dive deep into Heartbreak. Supernatural returns in comic form, and Shredder faces his wormy past. Del Toro's dropped a gothic monster masterpiece, and DC villains prison resurfaces, and collector market is starting to straight fire. You're going to want to stick around to the end for some of the key killer issues we got in the cover price report. Now let's jump right into it and welcome. My name's Bryant and this is Comic Issues Daily. Let's talk comics, collecting, and all the stories that make this hobby the best in the world. All right, first thing we got for you. Can we talk about how wild things are in Spidey's world right now? Sean Lelos over at comicbook.com laid it all out. Peter Parker stuck in space with Rocket Raccoon, while Norman Osborn has been impersonating Spider-Man on Earth. That's already messy enough, but Norman promises to stop because his violent approach was killing Spidey's rep. Then right in the middle of a conversation with Ben Reilly in a public restaurant, Norman gets attacked by a robotic Spidey Slayer, forcing him to suit up again. He and Kintusa take it down, and boom, the mastermind, Roger Kingsley, the Hobgoblin, is officially back. Kingsley's not targeting Spider-Man this time. He's coming for Norman. He's working with a broke group of tech, demanding more expertise and style, and declares their experiment a success. Lelos points out it's a perfect mirror story. Norman trying to be a hero, while Hobgoblin doubles down as the other side of that coin. Go read Amazing Spider-Man 14 and tell us, is Hobgoblin the perfect foil for hero Norman Osborn? Drop your thoughts below. And speaking of epic returns, let's head over to Image, where Spawn's Milestone issue is shaking the underworld. All right, Spawn fans, this is big. King Spawn number 50 has been previewed by BleedingCool.com. And celebrating 4 years since Todd McFarlane launched the expanded Spawn universe. It's not just oversized. It's the start of a massive crossover that continues with Gunslinger Spawn 50 and the Scorched 50. The threat, an ancient force older than time itself, is zeroing in on Spawn. It's written by Roy McCoville and McFarlane. The covers are killer. McFarlane with art from Steven Sovia and Carlo Babria, and it drops October 22nd. The covers are killer. McFarlane, Puppeteer Lee, Mark Spears, and Scotty Young all have variants. If you've been waiting for a universe-shifting Spawn event, this is it. Grab King Spawn 50 this Wednesday and tell me, can Spawn defeat something that's literally as old as time? Comment below and let me know. And then we're going from Hellspawn to Hired Guns. Zack Snyder reminds everyone what we missed out with Deathstroke. Mark Cassidy over at comicbook.com spotted Snyder's last post, a black and white Lisa shot of Joe Maglione in full Deathstroke armor, with Snyder calling him the perfect Deathstroke. The image instantly reignited the Restore the Snyderverse wave. It stings because that canceled Ben Affleck Batman movie would have had Deathstroke as the main villain. Mangione described the story as a dark horror-style revenge plot. Deathstroke's dismantling Bruce Wayne's life piece by piece. Snyder's photo feels like a tease, but he's been supportive of James Gunn's new DCU, even texting him encouragement. And meanwhile, the new universe's Deathstroke is moving forward under writer Matthew Orton. Was Joe Maglione the perfect Deathstroke? Would you still want the Affleck Batman movie as an Elseworld project? Smash that like button if you would. And speaking of heartache and redemption, Marvel's got a new X-Men story that hits right in the feels. Brian Corwin over at CBR reviewed Unbreakable X-Men #1 by Gail Simone and Lucas Wernick. And this one's emotional. It continues from the dark artery storyline. But fast forward 10 years into the future, where Rogue has sacrificed herself to stop Galactus, and Gambit's left blind and broken. Wernick Arts nails Gambit's grief, while Simone digs deep into what it means to keep living after you lost everything. Corwin said raw human storytelling still ties perfectly into the larger Marvel universe. Go pick up Who's Your Favorite X-Men Couple and That Kind of Loss. Answer below. And then we're going from grief to ghost hunting. It's time for Supernatural's comeback 5 years in the making. Hunters, get ready. Sam Fang at CBR.com has confirmed that Dynamite is launching a Supernatural comic book written by Greg Pak with art by Eder Miss. The series hits October 29th, set between season 1 and season 2 of the show. And Sam and Dean are back on the road investigating a fiery mystery at the old Windler Industry factories. And it just escalates from there. Pack says it all starts fun and grounded before cutting loose with monster mayhem. And Messiah's a lifelong fan. Was over the moon to draw it. And issue 2 is going to drop November 26th with the Casino Siren story. And number 3 on December 10th is bringing zombie fighting LARPers. That is a sentence I never thought I would ever say in my life. Pre-orders for Supernatural #1 from Dynamite start right now, going on right now. Which monster do you want the boys to face first? I think we already got, I don't know who's going to be at the industry or at the factory. Be interesting to see. And speaking of monsters, Shredder is facing one of from his own past, and it's crawling. John Dodd at CBR broke down Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder #2 from IDW, written by Dane Waters with art by Michael Bandia and Sid Cotten. Shredder is still recovering from his exile in Dimension X and is now helping a secret government agency, but only until he can strike back on his own terms. The creepy moment hits when he tracks down a crime lord named King Cobra, only to see not a man, but the same grotesque, massive worms that once made up his resurrected body. A direct callback to the 1986 Leonardo micro series. Waters nails his motivation: driven, ruthless, and crawling his way back. Grab TMNT Shredder #2 now from IDW, and it's worm-fueled vengeance. And if worm-fueled vengeance is your thing, hit the bell so you don't miss our next Turtle Talk. And then from Worms to Wonder, let's talk about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I am terrible at names. I do apologize. And this is a review of the Frankenstein movie. Nicholas Brooks at CBR says Frankenstein might be del Toro's magnum opus. It's dark, emotional, and visually stunning. Everything you expect. Oscar Isaac gives us a broken, obsessive Victor Frankenstein, while Jacob Elordi's disappearance into the role of the monster, moving like a newborn and acting with heartbreaking humanity. Mia Goth and David Bradley round out the cast, and Brooks calls it virtually perfect. One of the best films of 2025. The only downside is the limited theatrical run before it hits Netflix globally on November 7th. Watch Frankenstein on Netflix November 7th and tell me, is it the best version ever made? And while Frankenstein's monster is breaking free, DC is locking up their own in a whole new way. Joshua M. Patton at CBR has connected the Peacemaker finale Planet Salvation to DC's long-running obsession with villain prisons. The government's trying to ship metahuman criminals there because Belle Reeve just can't contain them anymore. Straight from the Salvation Run comics, Patton also revisits the scrap Green Arrow Escape from Supermax movie from 2008, and Oliver Queen framed for murder, trapped in a prison with Joker, Riddler, and Luthor, using Jason Bourne level skills to break out. That sounds like a very interesting movie. Patton suggests the idea could come back now that Salvation exists in the DCU. Which hero would you throw into the Supermax or Salvation? Drop your pick below. And speaking of breakouts, some books that are so hot they're literally going back to reprint. Rich Johnson over at Bleeding Cool reports that Absolute Batman is leading the reprint charge. Number 2 is getting a 7th printing. Number 3 is getting a 6th printing. And number 4, a 5th. And the rest of those through number 9 are hitting 4th and 2nd printings in November, on November 19th. And then Marvel and Image are in on the action too. Punisher Red Band number 2 is getting a Marcio Chichito cover and a 1 in 25 Virgin variant by Paulo Seguera on December 3rd. Images Rogue Sun number 30 with Medieval Spawn guest appearance gets a new Stefano Simeo cover November 12th. And Transformers number 25 from IDW and Skybound has 4 new variants, including one marking the first comic debut of Miles Mayhem from Mask. And Boom's Marion Heretic number 1 returning November 20th with the 1 in 10 foil variant by Toro. Which reprints are you grabbing? The Rogue Sun or Transformers with Mask cameo? Let me know below and don't miss out twice. And now let's see where the real collector money is moving. It's time for Cover Price's Daily Shakers report. All right, Cover Price has dropped their daily shakers, and we're here to show that to you right now. And leading the charge, we got Amazing Fantasy 15 from 1962. It's not the first time it's been on the list this week. It's the first appearance of Spider-Man, Aunt May, Uncle Ben, and Flash Thompson. And we got a CGC 2.5 copy of that just sold for $25,299. And then we got Fantastic Four number 48 from 1966. The first Silver Surfer and Galactus cameos went for $2,300 and a CGC 7.5. And then we're back to everybody's favorite webhead, Amazing Spider-Man number 14 from 1964. The first Green Goblin sold for $2,200 and a CGC 5.0. And then we got Captain Marvel Adventures, or I think not Captain Marvel from Marvel, but Captain Marvel that's in DC, or Shazam from number 18 from 1942, a Golden Age classic, hit $2,100 and a CGC 4.5. And then we got X-Men number 4 from 1964. The first Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, Toad, and Mastermind had a raw copy sell for $1,832. And then we're going over to the Cape Crusader Batman number 121 from 1959. The first Mr. Freeze, or Mr. Zero, aka Mr. Freeze, sold for $1,713 in a CGC 3.0. And then we got the Norse god himself, Thor, issue number 163 from 1969 in a CGC 9.8, went for $1,602. And then Giant Size X-Men number 1 from 1975 which is the first Colossus, Nightcrawler, Storm, and Thunderbird, so for $1,350 in a CGC 4.0. And then we got a little horror we're throwing in from DC. We got House of Secrets number 92. The first Swamp Thing sold for $1,300 in a CGC 5.0. And we got some incredible artwork here. We got Incredible Hulk issue number 340 from 1988 with iconic artwork from Todd McFarlane, sold for $1,200 in a CGC 9.8. This has been an absolute massive day for the Daily Shakers report. Got a lot of great issues. Check that out. Let me know if you have any of those in your collection right now. And if you don't, which one would you want to add? Let me know in your thoughts below. And then before we wrap up, let's highlight some amazing things that are happening this upcoming week. This is October is Comic Curing Cancer Month. And this upcoming weekend, the 24th through the 26th, we have the Comics Curing Cancer online auctions are happening across multiple YouTube channels. And I have the schedule for those events right here. Here we go. Well, I thought that was going to play. Technical difficulties, my apologies, but they have a big weekend coming up for Comics Curing Cancer. I don't know why the video didn't play, but it'll play tomorrow and the next one. Also on Sundays, I typically have my Comic Channel Origin live stream. And this past Sunday night, I interviewed Mike from 120 Comics. It was a great interview, a lot of insight. Check it out. It's live right now on my channel, or on Mike's channel. It's over there under the new collab feature. So check it out either place if you haven't already. It has a lot of great insight. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. So that's been it for today. Also, please check out our channel sponsor, Ron's Comic Closet. It has new releases, back issues, a lot of great collectibles. And if you use code I have issues at checkout, you'll get 20% off your first purchase over at Ron's Comic Closet. So go and check that out. And that's the show. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, ring that bell, and share with your friends who love comics. I'm Bryant, and this is Comic Issues Daily. And I'll see you tomorrow for more news, more keys, and more comic issues because, yeah, we've all got them. All right. See you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Bye.